Hello, I'm Coach Red Rochelle Strauss, and I'm here with my ex-husband, Andrew Strauss.
Hello.
Hi, and we're
Hi.
gonna we're gonna discuss co-parenting today. This is my topic of the week, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And I believe that Andrew and I have really successfully co-parented our two daughters into adulthood without too much collateral damage. So, Andrew, I'm going
Yes.
to open it up to you. Is there anything that you just want to say organically about the process?
Only that if the two parents want to co-parent peacefully in the best interest of their children, it can be done.
Yeah.
It's quite selfish, I believe, for exes to really use their kids as pawns in their resentments towards each other.
Right. And I think that you and I are both on the same page on that, and that's why we did what we did. So I'm going to ask you, what would you say was the most challenging part of co-parenting? I mean, if there even was one, because I felt it was a pretty smooth process from day one, but I'm curious if you, excuse me.
Phones off.
Yeah, I don't. My phone is off. I don't even know how to stop that. Okay. So as I was saying, what would you say has been the most challenging part of co-parenting?
Well, when our kids were younger, there were more challenges. We were a lot more involved in their daily lives when they were home in high school, elementary school, and there was a lot going on with the kids being in school and being at home, and the issues that kept coming up with kids, as it always does, and the differences in opinion we may have had about a situation with the kids. It's become a lot less challenging when one is in college and the other one in the military and they're not home, and we don't have daily uh, issues that have to be dealt with. I mean, sure, there always will be, as long as there are children and parents around. The challenges were really more when there were differences of opinion on what to do about any specific situation, and that's natural.
Right.
But at the end, I think we resolve them based on the best interest of our kids.
So do you remember anything that we had a difference of opinion on? Because I know there were a couple things. I can't think of a specific one right now, but I think there was something, and I can't remember if it was makeup or or something.
The earrings, when kids wanted earrings or piercings or multiple earrings, I don't have I still don't, and I didn't have an issue with it. You did,
Right.
and
And I think that's a really good thing. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but I think you're right, because what ended up happening was at the time they were living with me. And I
correct.
think that they knew that you were more liberal about it. And you and I had a behind the scenes conversation about it. And we came to the agreement that we were not going to allow them to do that until they were adults and could do that themselves. Right. And I think that's a very important point to bring up, that we showed a unified front. They knew you were lenient about it, but in the end, you and I had a conversation without them knowing about it. And then we came up with, okay, mom really doesn't like that, and we're gonna we're gonna follow that rule until you're 18, and then you could do what you like.
I think you should
Okay.
pause the recording. Okay.
Okay. So I also wanted to ask you, what did you need from me in order for you to co-parent successfully with me?
Well, to always agree with me would be obviously the best solution,
Except
but
that you were married to a strong woman, so that didn't always happen.
barring that, it was really a matter of being sensible when it came to the kids and what was in their best interest.
So, were you ever at a point where we would have a situation and we would disagree on it, and you would want to, and your emotions got the best of you? Do you
I'm
think?
sure that happened. As a human being, that's bound to happen, and I'm sure it did when one of our daughters was drinking or using substances, and she was still relatively young, you were dead set against the fact that she was doing that. And I said, well, they're teenagers and they're just going to do what they do. And they experiment and they drink or smoke pot, what have you. And either you know about it or they do it behind your back.
Right. And you're right. I'm dead set against that. I have a very, very clear line that I draw with regards to that. And I do want to mention that I think that we handled that well by educating them, telling them we know you're doing this, giving them a safe place to call when they got themselves into trouble.
Right.
And thank goodness they eventually came to their senses and realized that it wasn't really in their best interest to continue that behavior. And they were able to talk to us along the way, I believe, because we made it clear that we were not going to judge them and we loved them unconditionally.
Right.
You agree?
But it took a little time. Yes.
Yeah,
And it takes a little time for both of us to come to that conclusion that we needed to give them the space they needed to do what within reason, of course, to do what teenagers do in terms of experimentation.
Right. And I mean, I guess it hurt me a lot. I felt very, very emotional, and not hurt me like, I didn't take it personally, but these are my children. I want them to be healthy and strong and never do anything wrong. So I think that's really where it came from. But at the same time, I had to be realistic that the environment in this day and age is there.
But even when I was their age, I did many things my parents wouldn't have approved of, and I believe you were guilty as charged with doing.
I was a very good girl, and my kids.
Of course.
Okay. You know what? I didn't do
all relative. No, that's true.
Yeah, but and the kids knew that, and they used that. They're like, "Mom, but you don't understand because you didn't do it." They knew. Right. So that's why they had you to go to, because they knew you went through it. So I think that was good. That was like how we did that little give and take. You know, I think this was a great example of our co-parenting right there. Well, that's excellent. And then one more thing I wanted to ask you is at what point did you feel like it was a good idea to introduce a new partner? So I know that you're married to Heidi, and we all love her very much, and she's very well placed in our family. And so even before Heidi, like at what point did you introduce somebody you were dating to the girls? At what point did you introduce Heidi to the girls?
Well, it's funny. Heidi met one of our daughters a lot sooner than I expected to introduce her to her, because on our first dinner date, I got a phone call from one of our daughters that she was at a house party and the police were there, and I had to come and get her because the police wouldn't allow anyone to leave unless a parent or guardian came to pick them up. And Heidi came with me to the house. Well, it was no longer a party.
Right.
Where a policewoman immediately started telling Heidi off on, do you know what your daughter is doing? And Heidi could only say, I've never met this young woman before. He's not my daughter. I'm on a first date with her father. And so that's how she met our younger daughter.
Okay.
And that's not normally what I would do.
Maybe that's why she married you, because that was so special.
Yeah, it was very special. But in seriousness, not until I believe that there's something substantial in the relationship. I don't give it a time frame. I don't say it has to be X number of months or weeks or days or years. It's just when there is the feeling that there's something substantial that has merit, and that my kids could be introduced to my girlfriend at the time. But it also depends on their age. I think the younger they are, the more substantial the relationship should be.
Yeah. Because
they're certainly a lot more influenced at a younger age. At an older age, like our kids' age, I think I would be a little less strict on the timing and say, hey, I'm going out with this person. And, when the kids are 19, 20, 21, it definitely makes a difference versus, say, a 6-year-old.
Right, that's true.
Doesn't quite understand the nuances of dating yet.
Right, that's true. That's a good point. All right, so that was excellent talking to you, Andrew. Just I'm going to go close out now with, if you're interested in more ways of co-parenting, I have a blog out now. I also have a Facebook page. You can reach me and like my Facebook page and share it. That's Communication and Parenting with Coach Red. My website is www.coachred1.com, and I look forward to seeing you all on my page. Thank you. Bye, Andrew.
Okay, bye.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.